playing all night. When y'all was playing PlayStation, my pencil was erasing lines my conscience only knew was half typed. At 3:14, it's time to give me a slice, my nigga. This is a dog's fight, my nigga. The soundtrack to life, my nigga. Kendrick Lamar, his mama called him that. He watched House Party and ate Apple Jacks. He sold Sega games, his cousin sold crack. He pumped Reeboks, his uncle's pump packs. Pump fake, jump shot, ball hit the back. More dreams of being point guard was off limits jack. That's because these Compton streets was built not to win. You killed a nigga, I stole a Bible, is that a sin? Pardon me though, I'm searching for answers. The good kid from the ugly city that's mad that he's handsome with Give me rings, give me chains, man. Give me a blue Benz, red Porsche, red Range. Give me black bitches, white hoes, new clothes. A mansion with marble floors and security codes. Then give me some land, or maybe I land. G5, Clearport, say hello to the man. Give me awards, Grammys, and let the crowd applaud my name till they strain the veins in they vocal cords. Give me fame and fortune, me and Trump on golf courses. With that being said, give me Tiger Sports endorsements. Give me billboards, whatever that people would kill for. Manhattan at 40, no 40s, but Rose poured. Give me vanity, give me Kurt Cobain sanity. Give me a city with Channel 7 newscasters, cameras be. Give me horror like Amity, no. Give me the charts, and if you ever renege, I still give you Kendrick Lamar. This is me. That's
Man, shout out to y'all for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace, peace, peace. Hold on. What is it? Peace. Man. It's been a minute, fam. Not too long, but it's been a minute. It's been long enough, man. As you're coming in, please hit the like button. I know it's only, a couple of us in here. I know a couple of people are live. So as always, I don't expect this to be long. Next level, what up? Peace, peace, peace. I know the normal DNP conversations are ensuing. So, I don't want to take too many of y'all away from that. But it's been a minute. I just kind of been surveying the landscape. You know me, I always got to chime in and give my opinion on some things, especially when it comes to hip hop culture. And right now, main thing that's in the news again, Kendrick Lamar. So I have an opinion as an old head on everything that I see developing. I just kind of wanted to share that with y'all. So, if y'all don't know me, this your boy Chicago, really, what I'm saying? Southside Wild Wild, born and raised in the Chi. I been a couple of places, lived a couple of places, seen a few things. So I always like to come on here and get my perspective, in particular, all things art, culture, music, fashion, definitely, everything Chicago, right? But this, I got inspired today. I got something that I'm working on that I'm looking forward to launching top of the year. That's going to be the tagline is literally where hip hop and maturity intersect, right? So that's what I'm working on, where hip hop and maturity intersect. So I'm working on that for the top of the year, getting some things together. But This Kendrick Lamar, man, this just will not stop. You know, definitely the topic of conversation. I think since the last time we talked, I just gave a brief overview because GNX had just dropped, and I didn't want to go in too tough because it had just launched. And hold on, because I'm looking for something specifically. Hold on, y'all. Um, so it had just launched, and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do like a deep dive. I still don't want to do a deep dive. I'm still living with the album. For me, I think I hold some of the same positions. I think I said on the other. I think my initial take was like it's not a bop, and that's not what I meant. I meant like in terms of mainstream and stuff like that, and what people twerk to and dance to and all that other stuff. When you think about clubs and parties and stuff like that, I didn't find it to be a bop in that regard, but it's definitely a West Coast bop. The more I give it second thought, a lot of that, like the TV off, you definitely gonna hear that ring out. Um, Luther, I could hear that in the club. I don't know that you're gonna hit a hard part still, but I know it's gonna bump on the West Coast for a good minute. So just a couple of things that I want to build on real quick. Just giving my opinion on GNX after 2 weeks of listening to it, and then definitely want to talk about this Kendrick and SZA tour. You see the thumbnail. Thumbnail is a screenshot of something that Kendrick posted in his story. So yes, I did. I have a Cash App account, have a Cash App card. So I did. Tommy B, what's up, my guy? What's popping? Uh, I was on the site yesterday looking at the ticket prices. Man, and that was early access for Chicago, right? And it's at Soldier Field. So I was like, I'll be honest, I was like, man, I definitely want to see him at Soldier Field. I may have to, wait a second because, for what they charging, and that's even for the nosebleeds, for what they charging, man, that could either, give me some more artwork or get some new furniture in the house. Some other things I'm trying to do to this room in particular, or that can go in the stock market. Y'all see what Bitcoin is doing right now. So, and I just read something where they said the market cap for the stock market just hit 60 trillion or something to that effect, right? So, kind of wanted to go over the Kendrick and SZA tour. Tommy kind of already spilled the beans, but yeah, definitely, uh, yeah, I know. It was a chick crying literally. Yeah, I know. I know. I saw that. They played it on the station hit Power 92. They giving away tickets for it. But and then LL Cool J. I want to talk about LL Cool J. I saw something from one of my guys, somebody that I respect. But this lets me know that I actually need to start having more hip hop conversations. I actually need to be more dialed in terms of telling stories that I know, giving my perspective from an OG perspective, and then educating, right? Who was that? Inspector Deck, Leave It Up to Me, YB, Living Proof to Kick the Truth to the Young Black Youth on Cream, right? That was his verse on Cream. So the old heads in the game, man, we got to do a better job. But this take that I saw came from somebody that I actually respect and I consider more of a peer. He's only like maybe 3 years younger than me. And he said LL Cool J is not the most important rapper and that he tripping and apparently we tripping. And I asked him, well, who would you say is the most important rapper? And he was basing this off of LL hadn't done anything since the 90s or something to that effect. I said, well, who would you say is the most important rapper? He said, and I said, rapper, like LL. And he said, Dr. Dre, KRS One, Slick Rick, Rakim, and there was one more that he named, but it wasn't LL. And I said, man, okay. Whatever LL did to hurt you, I apologize. So we're gonna get into it. I want y'all to hear something else because I was in a conversation on whose channel? I think it was Izzy's channel with Angry Man and Patriarchy. And I know that, like for Kendrick fans, I know it seemed like, Cass is going hard. And I see it, right? And so I want to make sure I'm not included in that batch that's like, going hard and not being objective, right? And so, Tommy, what you saying in here? What's up, Ronnie Ron? Yeah, so crying. And I see all the girl. What? Fantasy won some tickets. What? Peace, Governor Ron. Appreciate you sliding through real quick, man. We ain't gonna be here long, but definitely appreciate y'all hitting the like button too, because that helps, right? If nothing else. Dang, Fantasy won some tickets. Good for her. Oh, hold on. Before I really kick it off, I gotta put myself on moratorium. I'm tweaking with buying a whole bunch. So you know I'm always adding something to the collection. I haven't even busted this open yet, right? I was on the fence about getting this. So this is like the 20th anniversary of MF Doom's Food album. And then you see a whole bunch of releases, especially, rest in peace to Doom. But this one is from Super 7. And I was on the fence about getting it, ordering it from their site. And but when I decided I was gonna do it, like it had sold out. Like I was actually gonna get it from Black Friday because it was marked down or something like that, right? And it had sold out. And but then I went to my favorite record store, and what else did I cop from them? Oh, this Ninth Wonder vinyl, the Wonder Years. I copped that vinyl, and they had this in there, and I was looking at, I love marketing. I'm a sucker for like good marketing. I'm gonna show y'all something else that I think is really good marketing. But this packaging is just stupid. It's like a cereal box. I haven't even opened it. I don't think I will. I may buy another one so I could display that one. But this packaging is just insane. So I just wanted to get that joint. But then today I also went and copped something from Joe Fresh Goods. Now again, this brother, West Side brother from the crib, is doing phenomenal work here in Chicago. So these are coasters, right? Should I go get the shirt? I ain't gonna get. I'm not gonna get y'all. I'm not gonna go grab the shirt so y'all can see. But these are like coasters that he was giving away. With this, the brother has. Hold on. He has a situation. He did a deal with Sprite. If you know anything about Joe Fresh Goods, he's known for doing these quirky teas and stuff like that. And he did this hat. I think one of the ways that he got on, he did this hat. I want to F Rihanna, and he got a cease and desist. So he was known for doing these T-shirts and hats and stuff like that, and he would get like all these cease and desists from. What's up, Don? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So anyway, fast forward like at least a full decade later, and the brother is just doing phenomenal things. He's done work with Adidas, Nike, Converse. He has a current situation with New Balance. He did some work with Vans. He's done work with McDonald's. I got one of the shirts from the project that he did with McDonald's. He just did something with Lollapalooza. Do I got that over here? I think I got it somewhere. He just did the poster design for Lollapalooza. And it was something else, some other company he's worked with. But this Sprite deal is like, oh, he did something during NBA All-Star Weekend. So not only did he have the situation with New Balance, the All-Star Weekend, he did something with Crown Royal too. That was really dope. Like he had a line, there was a line waiting to get in the venue, and then he was doing these clothes giveaway, which it was a line for that as well. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. So my son just hit me back talking about Kendrick. Now he said he want to go see Kendrick. I asked him because my son's in Atlanta. I asked him if he wanted to go see Kendrick in here in Chicago. So now he just hit me back. I may have to get tickets for it now. My son is a contrarian, right? But he's big on battle rap. So this is another beautiful thing about music and hip hop is that I use it as a way to connect with my seeds. So I'm educating them about old school and the era that I came from, and they put me up on game a little bit. Like my son that's in the battle rap, he could tell me about the rappers that he think is dope. And then one of the rappers, I actually know. He knows of him through watching the scene, but I actually know him. So I'm trying to send him to my man Ness. I'm trying to send him to his show in Atlanta Sunday. I'm trying to send him that Sunday, but he just texted me back. So nonetheless, his brother Joe Fresh Goods is doing phenomenal things. So lately to the collection, we've added MF Doom, and then we added the Joe Fresh Goods joint. See if I missed him Saturday. I think he was signing them Saturday, Friday, or this past Saturday, something like that. Friday, Saturday, he was signing the joints. So there's that. But let's get into just really quick some of this. So GNX, after 2 weeks of listening. So like I said, I retracted the statement that that I didn't think it was a bop. That's not what I meant. Aaron, no, did you just wrap up? Did you just wrap up? I was just watching you. Killer Swag, what's up? Y'all, please, please, please. I always say this because I got so much appreciation for the brother. I was just watching you before I came down here. That's crazy. That's love and gratitude. But please, please, please go subscribe to Aaron O. Bitcoin is going stupid, and all the crypto. And so I finally decided to get a little bit more information, do a little bit more research, and understand what's happening. But then I'm reading where the Haktua girl did something, and that impacted the cryptocurrency market. So I think it's, apparently there's a lot I still got to learn. However, when I think about the Winklevosses winning off of Bitcoin and their investment in Bitcoin, I'm like, okay, I need to pay close attention. Trump, I think they said, is 5 million in with his investment spread across multiple coins. I think some of y'all, well, if you don't know, Nas got in early with like Coinbase and cashed out. So I'm paying attention. Let me see. No, cool. Okay. Wait, what? Who said something about your calves? I said something about the calves. I ain't said nothing about the calves. Anyway, please go subscribe to Aaron O. Pay attention to what bro is saying. Normalizing conversations around financial literacy. And I know generational wealth is like a buzzword, but please, the young governor AO got like just brilliant takes on the market. Like I could listen to him and Earn Your Leisure, especially Ian Dunlap. I could listen to them just give me insight on the markets all day. So, Aaron O did. Aaron O, man, Aaron O is Aaron O, man. Shout out to him. I think him and Sharon do that sports show nightly. So, it's interesting to hear his takes from the sports world too. But okay, let's get into this GNX, right? So now we living with the album. One thing I know about this album is if you are a Drake fanatic, you probably don't like it. If you don't like Cali, you're not gonna like this album. I have yet to hear anyone from Cali say that they full out don't like the album, that they full out are skipping. It's 12 songs, and it's 44 minutes, so it's a short listen by comparison for most Kendrick albums, which is around 77 to 90 minute range, right? 44 minutes. That's a huge chunk off of what we normally get from Kendrick, right? But it's 12 songs on there. So now let me pull up the track list. Because we can just go through the track list real quick. And I'm not gonna listen to anything off of there. But a couple things I do want to hit on, right? So let me go here. Wikipedia. Shout out to Wikipedia, man. They struggling for some bread because they keep hitting me with the, yo, can you help us? Can you help us? Okay, wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. I was over there on, man, was it Izzy show? Whoever show I was on, and I was like, yo, he just dropped the album out of nowhere. And Angry Man was like, come on now, we like, no, bro. He dropped this album out of nowhere. Nobody knew this album was coming. Like everything that led up to this moment says that it was right timing for an album, but there was no coming, November, whatever the date was that this dropped, right? You know, nobody knew that. There was no lead in, there was no lead single, there was no singles that he was working. Matter of fact, the stuff that he had that he could have put on the album, he didn't. So Whacked Out Murals. It's produced by Soundwave, Jack Antonoff, which is Taylor Swift producer, and apparently they have a group called Red Hearst. I think it contains somebody else. Um, at first, like so again, when I first listened to the album, I think I was expecting some stuff and I had to calm down. Like, okay, let me listen to what bro was saying. And I know Kendrick say, like, there's one verse, one bar where he talks about like this ain't for the lyricists. After double entendres, I want y'all to hear this, right? But he got some. I think his pen. I think he's a prolific writer, and he got bars throughout that whole joint. What up, Witch Doctor? Salute, King. Salute to you, Witch Doctor. Peace, peace, peace. Um, so the Whacked Out Murals joint, I love the because I think he's methodical and very intentional. So that friend sample, that friends, and you talking Whacked Out Mural where somebody went over that mural, that Not Like Us mural, and he's hitting a couple things. He's calling quite a few people out. He's addressing the Ice Cube situation, Snoop. He's addressing, like, I heard somebody break down and say like it sounded like he was going at J. Cole a lot. I don't know that he is, but he's definitely had to say so on Wayne. And the crazy thing is Wayne's response, and I'm glad it's died down. But I also heard that Whack 100 kind of reached out and spoke to Mac Main and Wayne's cap and tried to tone that down some, right? And rightfully so, because it wasn't a diss at Wayne. And I can only imagine if I'm Kendrick and the only person, like, here I am performing the Super Bowl. That's a pretty big accomplishment. And the only thing that, only person that congratulates me is Nas. Like, that's wild, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in his camp, embrace, but like, that's wild. So anyway, you got Whacked Out Murals. I love the sample slowed down. To me now, with that knowledge, it gives me new ears listening to it. I also had to dial back on me wanting to hear a diss so bad, right? I think we're so engulfed in this blood sport that we want to just see. We're just programmed. Like, we have really, really bad programming, fam. What was this? Okay. We have really, really bad programming. Like, we want to see Drake destroyed or Cole destroyed so bad that we're not making space for just an artist being able to express themselves, right? So uh but I did like I did listen to the project with a different set of ears now. So Whacked Out Murals, I like Squabble Up. We were waiting for that from the Not Like Us video. He gave us a little snippet. I know that the record that he sampled, Debbie Deb, When I Hear Music, I know for like B-boys, pop lockers, and not necessarily breakers, but definitely pop lockers, and boogie boy, not boogie boys. What do you call them? What do you call them? Anyway, that pop locking culture, I know is big, and I know it's big on the West Coast, right? So that sample, we was waiting to hear the whole song. That's going to be a summer bop on the West Coast. I think it translates nationally, especially after he does this tour. I just think he's doing all the right things. I think after this tour, which ends in, it's a 2 month or 3 month tour. I think it starts in April and ends in June, which I'll get to that in a second. Hold on, Tommy B. And then Luther. I heard somebody say they don't like this song, and I couldn't understand it. Like, it has the classic sample. It's officially endorsed by the estate. Him and SZA together on tracks, they have beautiful chemistry together, in my opinion. And this is not me glazing the entire album. This is not me jock riding the entire album, right? I'm just saying, like, track by track, what I think of each track. So I like this track. I like the harmonies that they use. And somebody pointed out, which I agree with them, that if you look at the wood and old girl talks about what her favorite song is, and then they dance into, like, that's dope. Like I you know, it makes sense why he, because this is like a quintessential West Coast. So a lot of the references are gonna be West Coast, except for the next track, Man at the Garden. I think this was dope concept because now, am I saying this all this knocks at the club? Like, is Man at the Garden gonna knock at the club? No, but I think this is a deeply not deeply, it's about as deep as we gonna get in terms of reflective outside of Reincarnated, but reflection and introspection is, I think, Kendrick's specialty at this point. So Man at the Garden pays homage to Nas One Mic. I thought it was dope that Nas picked up on it immediately and acknowledged Kendrick's efforts and stamped that. So I thought that was dope. Peace to y'all all coming in. I am not able to look at the what's the name right now. So please, if I'm not acknowledging you as you come through the door, my apologies. Please greet each other. Hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. I am supremely inspired. I don't know that I'm gonna get on the schedule, but I do know y'all gonna get this hip hop conversation all 2025. Y'all gonna, because here's the thing. Dang, I'm gonna go to that in a second. Let me hold off on that thought. But y'all gonna get this 2025. Y'all getting more hip hop conversations from me. There's a need for it, clearly. So, Man at the Garden is his homage to Nas. I could dig it. Hey now this is something that's strictly West Coast. Now, I get, this is hyphy music, right? This is Dodie Six, right? So it's not my cup of tea, but I respect it. I respect what Kendrick did with the record. I respect that LA gets hyped over. I respect that you know, whoever's crumping to it, whoever's hyphy with it, they can go dumb with it. I respect it, but that one is not my cup of tea. Hey now. Okay, Reincarnated. So I'm a Tupac fan, but not his biggest fan. So I love what Kendrick did with the record. The original record, dang, I forget the name of the original record, but I know it was off the movie soundtrack. What's the name of the original record? Anyway, I love it's funny because a lot of people listened to that and they didn't like it. I guess because it wasn't Pac. Wait, what y'all saying? Hip hop reset. Man, chill. Marcus, chill. Y'all chill. Y'all going. Y'all on it, man. Who in here? Who in there? Who is that? Is that my peoples in here? I don't know. Oh, man. Peace. I'll go back through some of these comments and respond. But that Reincarnated, I love the trend. Like, he's I love artist creativity, man. So, you know, he goes through, like, because now we're trying to figure out, okay, who was he talking about in the first place? Was it John Lee Hooker? Was it Chuck Berry? I was over there with Nightish last night. We was trying to figure out, like, okay, was he talking about Jimi Hendrix? But the key that he said was, like, I was the head of rhythm and blues. So I don't know. They was born in 46. I don't know. Nonetheless, I like the reincarnation from, you know, the musician, you know, that, you know, played the guitar. Was it from Grand Rapids, Michigan? And then you had who we think is Billie Holiday, but I've also heard somebody else say Dinah Washington. And then now present day Kendrick Lamar. That's another introspective, reflective song. And then of course he's paying homage to Pac, right? We know how Doc gives it up for Pac. And then TV off. Now this one, whew, dummy, go dummy. Yo, this one, yeah, this is where you get the whole mustard. And then shout out to, you know, Canadian Bacon, who can't read the room. And I don't even think that was him in the comments, to be honest. Like, they're doing the whole custard thing. But if that was him, it's just like corny stuff after corny stuff after corny stuff. Dodger Blue, my God. Like, I cannot wait till summertime to slide down Lakeshore Drive. Lakeshore Drive in Chicago is literally like it's the lakefront. Like, you, if depending on which way you're going, but if you're going north, if you're coming from south going north and you looking to the right, like that water, like when for me when I ride my bike on the lakefront, I remember at one point I was like, I feel like I could ride like and skate on top of the water. That's how dope it is. So I can't wait to bump that Dodger Blue. And it gives you that computer love feel, which takes you back to what? That scene in Menace to Society with Kane pulling up on Eilena, man. Like, yo, Dodger Blue is dope. Like, I think it's highly slept on. At least from some of the what's the name feedback that I've seen on it. Peekaboo. Okay, now this is another one. One of my young bloods, one of the young bloods that work for me, he likes this record. He likes Peekaboo a lot. I think he just likes the what they talking about. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. I think he likes that part. But again, it's a hyphy record, Bay Area heavy. You know what I'm saying? I could see them just going dumb, like shaking their dreads and whoop whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it did. Okay. So after that, Heart Part 6, SWV sample, you know what I'm saying? Putting some soul back in it. And the way that he debo, like, give him my back, man. What you talking about? You know, you come with that weak, you know, talking about Canadian bacon. You come with this weak, the heart and da 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 da. And he comes back and then he builds on his crew. Dope. GNX. Okay, the title track. Now here's the thing. The title track, all these other tracks. Now I'm at track 11. I could remember what all of these tracks sound like. I can't remember what GNX sounds like right now. That's crazy. I can't remember, and I don't want to play any of these tracks. Um, I can't remember what GNX sounds like. So with that, that must be another one that I would not necessarily skip, but you know, it's just not high on my priority list. The vinyl, you know, I'm ordering the vinyl, right? You know, the vinyl's already ordered, right? You know, your boys already ordered the vinyl for this, right? I think the only thing that's missing from my collection is Untitled Unmastered because I really didn't care for it. I think I was in Detroit when that came out. I didn't care for it too much. Um, and Damn, I didn't. This is me personally. I didn't like Damn as much as everybody else did. So Damn didn't do it for me. So those are the only two albums that's missing. But and Overly Dedicated never came out on vinyl. But Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Mr. Morale, I have all four of those vinyls. And then Gloria. Gloria is dope, right? Another homage to Nas in a sense of Nas wrote about I Gave You Power, you know, talking about the gun, and I would argue that this is also an homage to Common, right? I would argue that because when you listen to I Used to Love Her, you know, you really thinking Common talking about his girl, and the whole time he's talking about hip hop. So Kendrick is talking, and you think he's talking about his girl, and the whole time he's talking about his pen. So I would say Common more so than Nas, but I understood what you know, people who said they thought it was about uh it was an homage to Nas, I Gave You Power. I understand it. I ain't tweaking. Okay. Now here's something I had to do um last week before I went back and listened to GNX for like the umpteenth time, right? I went back and I was like, well, actually, after the show that I did with AM, it was AM and Patriarchy, and we still doing this whole. I don't understand how we don't understand at this point that like it's not that Drake is a culture vulture, but you know, in the era I came from, he would have been called a toy. He would have been like a toy, an imposter. Like you like he's it just keeps proving itself time and again. Like Drake is not culture, and then people get so offended when you say Drake is not culture. Like what part of it are you missing? There are like so many subtle cues that you know. Again, it's like when they had what's your girl Candace Owens on the Breakfast Club, and they was like God is good, and then Candace Owens was like show is right. She didn't know to say all the time and all the time God is good, right? That's Aubrey Graham, fam. And I understand it. His music connects with people for different reasons. Like I definitely understand that listening to Patriarchy and Angry Man talk about him, the way that they talk about him. I understand that. I, salute to that. But he is not culture, fam. Jack Harlow is not culture. Post Malone is not culture. Um, I'm borderline with Russ, but Russ keeps it real. So I ain't mad at him. Who else? I mean, it's quite a few cats that are just like Takashi. It's not culture, right? But we keep letting these people in for whatever reason. We keep letting them in. What's up, Ash? What up, Big Ash? We keep letting people in. But let me see. Straight for niggas who close to Ash. Hey, don't make me time you out. Yo, shout out to the young god Ash, man. Ash is stupid. But nonetheless, right? So I had to go and I said, okay, well, look, man, if you feel that, okay, they felt strongly about Drake, like Angry Man and Patriarch directed me to some song. I mean, they felt really strong. And what's crazy is they ain't go to his early words. They ain't say like, I really, really started effing with Drake on this. It was more like, not Scorpion, but it was like Take Care and some other album that they was naming that they really like. It was some song too, and I forget it. But I respect that it connected with him because that's what music is supposed to do. It's supposed to inspire. It's supposed to motivate. It's supposed to move you. So I respect that. But I was like, okay, so what is it? What is it about Dot? Like, why? Why do I feel the way that I feel? And if that first song that I played, I've never heard somebody rap over stuff like that. Now that's me. Hold on. Let me do this. I want y'all to hear something. Because this what made me like pay attention. My homeboy, oh man, where is it? Y'all hold on, bear with me. My homeboy, one of my guys put me up on Kendrick Lamar, my man Dev, he used to put me up on a lot of music. Hold on, let me see if I can get this to act right. Let me tell you something, man. What album was that? Not Things Fall Apart. What album was that? It's the Roots album. The song is called A Piece of Light. And when I heard it, I was like, yo, what's the name finna dumb out? Like Black Thought is about to dumb out on this track. And he never did. It was just the intro to the album. Man, what is the name of this album? Y'all forgive me because all this stuff is escaping me. But when I heard Kendrick, hold on. When I heard Kendrick do this, I was like, yo, this a different young blood. He gets it. Hold on. See my heart is on a half. Victory tastes sweet. Even when the enemy gets so soft, still knock him out the park. Like a fucking toast car. They're bygones, be bygones. But where I'm from, we bygones. This might be better anyway. Hold on. It's a live performance that I'm watching. Sitting in the studio thinking about what's moving go right now, freestyle or write down whatever. It's still a couple clever. I just need to free my thoughts. Lord knows that I know better. But I ain't perfect. I ain't seen too many churches. I know them Testament verses. You should either hear me now or go deaf, or end up dead, die trying and no death. Might end up peace, OG. Blood, swallow my breath. Fuck a funeral. Just make sure you pay my music respect, nigga. I mean, it's dead from the bottom of my heart. See, my heart is on a half. Victory tastes sweet. Even when the enemy gets so soft, still not. Nah, I gotta give y'all the audio because when you listen to the audio of this, and this is what, 2011? This is 13 years ago. And he's talking about on the record, and this is crazy to me that I was having some of the debates that I was having because people just didn't understand. Like, well, like people get it confused and say, oh, well, he was good kid, Mad City. Now he thugging and gangbanging. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where did Kendrick ever say? Like, I've never seen him switch up and say, I'm the one that's shooting. I'm the one that's thugging. I'm the one that'll bust you in your mouth and woo, 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 blah, blah, blah. I hear him talk about his experience the same way I talk about my experiences. Right? Being a neutron, being around certain things, you know, getting jumped. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I done tasted, you know, my own blood in my mouth. So, you know, I have a different perspective on things, right? But out the gate, and I think he's been very consistent his entire career with struggling. The duality of wanting to be like a decent human being, right? This is just my opinion. The duality of, I guess, you know, I don't believe in astrology that much, but you know, when I hear him, and then I think about Pac, and I think about my wife who's a Gemini, and then I learned recently that Sharon's a Gemini. You know, it makes sense. That duality of good and evil, bad and good, and and then even when I heard Lecrae break down his initial interaction with Kendrick, he said Kendrick had a lot of questions. Lecrae is a if you don't know who Lecrae is a very, very, very dope MC who happens to be Christian. Very, very dope MC who happens to be Christian, professes his faith through his music consistently. Very dope brother. But he talked about his interaction and he said Kendrick had a lot of questions and you could see he was trying to find his way. I find that still to be the case, that he's wrestling. Even when I listened to 616 in LA, I listened to it the other day and he was like, I thought it was funny because on Reincarnated, he was like, he was talking to God and he was like, but you love war. And he was like, no, I don't. Right. But on 616 in LA, he was like, but who am I if I don't go to war? You know what I'm saying? There's opportunity when living with loss. Man, that's, anyway, let me see if I can find this one for y'all. Cause y'all need to hear, let me see. Is it Overly Dedicated? Let me see if I can find it off of Overly Dedicated. I think it's off the EP, but I may be wrong. Okay, hold on. Ignorance is bliss. No. Hold on. Let me show y'all something else. Hold on. This one too. Hold on. Let me let this commercial run. This one too. Who was rapping about this type of stuff, man? Who was rapping about this type of stuff? I'm just remembering about the things that made me start rocking with dude. I was thinking about Angry Man and Patriarchy.
We hurt people that love us, love people that hurt us, hurt people that love us, love people that I'm inspired.
So get inspired. That's crazy.
That's what he said.
Hold on. This part. Y'all might not be able to hear that, man. So this is Opposites Attract off Overly Dedicated, right? And it says, sometimes we hurt people that love us, love people that hurt us, hurt people that love us, love people that hurt us. I'm inspired, so get inspired, right? Then at the end, he has this poet, Javante, and Javante is spitting this poem about this girl who's so in love with him, and he's trying to figure out how does she love him so much when he's like a POS to her, right? Just very interesting because I'm like, who would think to put this type of stuff on a record? Now, I think it may be on the EP. Let me see if it's on the EP. No, so
Sit still and close your eyes. Smoke to it.
know there was a man, there was a what's the name? He did a song like HOC, High Off Contact, where the whole song he's talking about how he don't smoke, but you know he how he gets high off of other people contact smoke. Like it, man, it's crazy, man. So that's what made me think about. They made me think about hold on, Piece of Light. It made me think about like, okay, well, what is it about that you know that I really connect? Because for me, music is about connection. It was like, what made me connect with dude like that? No. Hold on, let me see.
I'll tell you what I don't believe in.
This.
Can I do that? All right, I don't believe in the laws or the system by any means whatsoever. I try not to obey them.
That part. That's. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, this is what it is. I'm big tweaking. It's the heart part too. It's the heart
I
part
could never go on vacation. Running my rent.
Let me get through this commercial break. It's the hard part too. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
Can I do that?
This.
All right. I
Even
don't
the intro
believe
got me.
in the laws or the system by any means whatsoever. I try not to obey them at any time. That's what I believe in, not believing in.
So what keeps you alive?
4 big bottles of water a day, 2 packs of Marlboro Reds, and what keeps me alive? Shit. Music. I have to listen to music all day long. I'd say that keeps me going.
Hopefully y'all
I'm a
can
pretty
hear
dark
this,
person.
okay.
I've thought about ending it a million times, and I have to say that music keeps me here.
That intro, like I'm thinking about my man Dev put me onto this, and it wasn't no big single or nothing like that out then. This was like Kendrick on the come up, and he was like, "Yo, this is my young blood." He used to put me up on stuff all the time, and but he was like, "Yo, you gotta hear this Kendrick piece." Da, 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 da. So when I heard this, because the song he told me to listen to wasn't even the one I was feeling. It was when I heard this, I was like, "Yo, this kid's different." Because I had been waiting for somebody to spit over the Roots, A Piece of Light. But this is the Heart Part 2. That's what the official title is, the Heart Part 2. And on this, I was like, "Yo, he gets it." Even with this intro. I've seen the actual video of it. It's a white dude being interviewed. I don't know what it's from or whatever, but I don't know who the person is. But they're asking him, so what keeps you alive? Because he's talking about, man, look, I thought about ending it. I had all these troubles, da, 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 da. And then the guys, well, so what keeps you alive? So he's like, man, 4 packs of Marlboros, 4 big bottles of water, 2 packs of Marlboro. He's like, man, he's really thinking like, what keeps me alive? And he's like, music. I gotta listen to music, and I can relate, right? Like I can relate.
Are the main thing.
Thank you.
It's so cold, man. Now listen to what K-Dot says on this.
Sitting in the studio thinking about which move we go right now. Freestyle or write down, whatever. It's still a come up clever. I just need to free my thoughts, and Lord knows that I know better. But I ain't perfect. I ain't seen too many churches or know them testament verses. You should either hear me now or go deaf, or end up dead, die trying and no death. Might end up dead, swallow blood, swallow my breath. Fuck a funeral, just make sure you pay my music respect, nigga. I made that from the bottom of my heart. You see, my art is all I have, and victory tastes sweet, even when the enemy can throw thoughts.
You hear this man talking about music is all you wondering why he's going, you wondering why he's at the position that he's in, why he's going the way he's going. I think it's a disservice when I listen to people try and like say, oh, Kendrick was taking the moral high ground here, and then now he's doing what Drake does, or now he's a thug, and like Lord Jamar, yo, as OGs, we gotta know when to shut the up. Like if we don't know, we don't know. Like this dude got on camera and literally said the game represents LA culture more than Kendrick, which even if that were true, sir, if it, well, let me say, not even if it were true, if that were the case, that would be a state. The problem is that's not even a true statement. Like you just whittle LA culture down to like gang banging and blood activity, which is what gang represented for a lot in his music. But you know, you also see the father side, and then he said Kendrick was like a nerd backpacker. Like, who do you? So, what would you classify? Far Side, Hieroglyphics, Delta Funky Homo Sapien, Souls of Mischief, Casual, Pep Love, Sophia, Freestyle Fellowship, Def Jeff. What would you classify them as? Vince Staples, La Russell, Don Kennedy. Like, what are you talking about?
They'll knock them out the park like a fucking tow car. Let bygones be bygones, but where I'm from, we buy guns and more guns to give to the young. I'm living the life of a nigga, trap nigga. Inside the system, all you envision is trap niggas. My uncle doing life inside prison, he wasn't rap too tight. He told me rap about life, not rap niggas.
Man, he told me rap about life, not rap, Nick. Man, listen. And if you go back to Training Day, I don't care for that mixtape because that's the one where he was the most influenced by Wayne, and it shows like he's trying to imitate Wayne, and you see him putting stuff together to try. You see him putting songs together to try and like he's putting it together like this is what would hit at radio. Like he's trying really hard. So nonetheless, okay. Oh man. I just had to, like, that's making me think all over again, right? Like about like what I appreciate about an artist. And let me say this, man. No, I'm gonna say that for the last piece. Okay. The second thing that I want to talk about, topic number 2, Kendrick and SZA on tour. This is gonna be really, really short. It's a couple things. First of all, I saw some people say it was dumb for him to put SZA on tour with him. Yo, there's so many reasons why this made sense. Let me go with one of the first basic things. SZA's a female. SZA is R&B. SZA is borderline pop. SZA is going to bring a female audience to Soldier Field in particular in droves. The amount of girls that know SZA songs, and not just black girls, because she's on that whole emo wave, like somebody that broke her heart for the last decade. It's white girls that listen to her too. So he's going to fill Soldier Field, and wherever he's performing, where you are, he's going to fill that up. Also, they got good chemistry. They sound good together. They sound really good. Best, what up, homie? Best, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Oh, get out of here, Best. I know you don't want to hear this Kendrick talk. I got one more topic I'm gonna cover that you might enjoy though. So they got really good chemistry together. Like all the songs that they got together, they sound good together, right? So you got that. So I can imagine the show where they're not doing the songs necessarily back to back. They may be weaving in and out of each other's sets in that regard, right? The third thing, when you got two people, because I don't think she's on the label anymore either, and I think she first expressed about getting off the label. But these people are showing you how to move. Like the Hard Part 6 and the support that he had from TDE throughout this battle, and then think about the year that TDE is having. Shout out to TDE. Schoolboy Q, Absol, Doechii going. So Schoolboy Q, I don't know what numbers he did, but he released an acclaimed project. Absol, and I think Doechii released before both of them, but Absol released a highly acclaimed project. But Doechii is just killing it. So shout out to TDE because they're showing that, and Reason left this year too, right? So, and I think Isaiah Rashad did too. But in spite of those ups and downs, they remain a label that can mine and produce talent, number one. And number two, it's still a family vibe. Like that's crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, if you look on the thumbnail, I think I do see the logo, the TDE logo on there. So SZA may still be signed with TDE. I think you see PG Lane, TDE, Cash App, right? And Spotify, maybe Spotify logo on there. I don't know. I can't access anything right now. Nonetheless, the tour makes sense. Now, Drake starts his tour February 9th. February 9th. That's Super Bowl Sunday, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's Super Bowl Sunday. Okay. And then he's on tour in Australia. Okay. He's on tour in Australia. He's on tour. So think about this. He's on tour on the other side of the world, which for me personally, I think he should just be vacationing. Going on tour in Australia the day of the Super Bowl, to me, it's not like the biggest win, and it's only like a few dates or something like that. Okay, cool. Dot is doing from April to June, April, May, June. He's doing the like North America, like because I know it's state tour, the United States, with the only outside of the states is June 12th in Canada. Tommy alluded to it earlier. Tommy, I like the fell out. I don't even know where I was when I saw it. Oh, I was upstairs. I almost fell off the couch, bro. I said, "Oh my fucking God," because you don't see. Okay, so first of all, like in my Instagram feed, it came across my stories, Kendrick Lamar. So it was like, "Oh, he got a new story. Like, what's going on now?" I'm thinking something else happening. So I go and I look, and it's like the same poster that they're using for the tour. And I see, oh, okay, 3 shows added, and a third show added in LA. What's on that second? What's on the second one, Tommy? Yeah. What's on that second one, Tommy? They said the third show's at the first slide in his stories. It says third show added in LA. I knew there was 2 shows in LA. Like, that's dope. Now listen, the third show added in LA, the tickets don't go on sale to the general public till tomorrow. Now, as much crying as all of us were doing, because them tickets are like, trust me, them tickets is up there. I got Cash App. I got early access. If you looked at my stories yesterday, it was for Soldier Field. It was 17,000 people in front of me when I got in line. Matter of fact, yeah, 17,000 people in front of me when I got in line. By the time I got up there, it was looking for some seats. I was like, okay, let me check the nosebleeds then, because the ticket prices that they're asking for, those are that's money I'm willing to part with for Stevie Wonder and Sade. Okay, at those prices. But I understand that the game is different. It's inflation. The market is different. So I understand that is what they charging, like, for a lot of these shows now, right? I don't think I spent that much on PJ Morton tickets. I think I spent like $50, maybe $60 a piece on his tickets. And I had some really good seats in the mezzanine. Nonetheless, it's K-Dot and SZA at Soldier Field. That's stadium. Okay, stadium tour. So here's the thing that's interesting. The pre-sale was yesterday, the 4th. The general sale doesn't go on general public sale until tomorrow. That means they stirred up enough interest from their fan base, and the sales come back early, like whatever came, the numbers came back early enough that they added a third show in LA. And a second show in Toronto. There was already, this is crazy. It was already buzzed when you look on the road, you look on the dates, and you're like, June 12th, Toronto, Rogers Center. Oh, right. That's your response. Yo, somebody, I have not checked this yet because I wanted us to do this as a family. Somebody, please, Tommy, please tell us, what is June 13th? Because somebody pointed out like June 13th. What day is that? What is the significance of June 13th? Okay. So since Tommy brought that up, he's correct. This is a stadium tour and not arenas, right? Now, like you, yo, Tommy, I guessed it. I did not want to. I did not. I said I wanted to do this live. I wanted to do this with the family. Yo, Tommy, please, bro. Please, bro. Hey, Tommy. Hey, man, we might have to make that trip to Toronto, man. We might have to make that trip. Yo. So this is Jay and Nas all over again. Let me tell y'all something, man. First of all, calm down. Number one. Number two, y'all didn't have nothing to say when Drake was on Meathead for like a year plus. It wasn't until they pieced it up that y'all was like, okay, da 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 da. Y'all was all on top of Meathead, right? Along with Drake. Every opportunity he got, he was on Meathead. Okay. Number three, yo, Nas dropped Ether on Jay's birthday. Jay made sure to step on every release Nas had after Ether. The Jay Petty game probably was up there with 50 Cent. Now, Kendrick, you know what? The more I think about this time, I think this little nigga had this plan the whole time. I think the young blood had this plan the whole time because, you know, you looking at June 12th. I'm looking at June 12th. It's just too perfect. And I think it was more or less like they just wanted to make sure. But I think he had this plan the whole time, man. Because, okay, you're going to step on my date. You're going to attempt to step on Super Bowl. So, okay, and it really doesn't make sense because, okay, the audience that's going to go, here's the thing, fam. The audience that's going to go to a Drake concert in Australia, is that the same audience that will pay attention to the Super Bowl? Is that going to impact NFL numbers globally? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to make that big of a dent. Is it going to impact their numbers in Australia? I don't think it's going to make that big of a dent. I could be wrong. I could be way off. But again, you know, the Super Bowl is still a male-centric, male-focused, you know, not sport, but the business of it. You understand what I'm saying? It's still majority men that they target that to, although I know they're putting a lot more effort into targeting women to, you know, watch and support. But that, yo, Tommy, that's crazy. Are you serious? June 13th is Father's Day. And the only reason why I guessed that when somebody pointed that out, when he announced that second date, was because I remember 616 in LA. We was talking about it last year. Well, earlier this year, we was talking about it last year. It feels like last year. Earlier this year, we was talking about Father's Day. So I was like, oh, it must be close to Father's Day. But I wanted to do that here, man. That's crazy. Yo, that is diabolical. And when he talks on Whacked Out Murals, how he was like, yo, he said, I'll never piece it up. It don't sit well with me. I'll take, before I do that, I'll take them to hell with me. That's that. I hate to say it, fam. You know, that's that Gemini energy for real, for real. Like, you know, once you're on their bad side, it's like F you. F everything about you, the horse you rode in on, your mama, your daddy, your greasy grandpappy. F you. That's what type of time he on, man. That's crazy. You gotta respect it, man. The unfortunate thing, I think at this point, before I go into this last subject, man, I think we are literally like, so I seen David Dennis. He's a writer. I think he used to write for the smoking section, but I know he's like on ESPN now, and he still does a lot more hip hop writing though, right? And he wrote an article, and in the article he was talking about Drake and Kendrick, and he was saying that you know, are we sure that Drake is okay? He was like, yo, at the beginning of this battle, or he said back in May or something like that. and a lot of people were saying this, you know, with the battle stuff, right? They were saying both of their careers will be okay. Drake will recover. Kendrick will be fine, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Kendrick didn't throttle him to that degree where he can't recover. And Kendrick is not going to go on to sell or outsell or outdo or outpace Drake and da 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 da. And initially I agreed. I said, you know, both of them will be straight, you know. I agreed. I thought Kendrick would go back to making music. Or what I thought was we wasn't gonna see him for a good minute, and then he announced the pop out. And so when that happened, when the pop out happened, they was talking about, oh, they're filming for, you know, the They Not Like Us video. Remember all that? And none of that footage got used for the video. So then the video drops, and it made sense, right? I just thought that Kendrick was just gonna ride the Not Like Us and da da da. So, but it's just been one thing after another, right? It's, you know, the pop out, the Not Like Us, Super Bowl announcement, then GNX out of nowhere. Again, remember this dude said drop a 20 back on the pop on the stop. I was really trying to keep it PG. Yo, y'all was asking him to drop. When I watch some of these reaction videos, I'm looking at them and they like, Kendrick, you gotta drop. Kendrick, you on the clock. Academics of all people, you know. What you got? What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick? And da 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 da. Okay. Now the boy won't stop. And y'all can't take it. I love it. I'm here for it. Drake has taken. Here's my question again. Because I thought that I said this out loud and I got excoriated. I said, are we witnessing the Ja Rule of Drake? Like, is Drake getting Ja Rule right now? And people were like, oh my God, like he's too big to fit. Like, what? He got a $400 million contract with UMG. What? That's the boy. All he need is another hit. And so, you know, in the meantime, he got the Wagwan Delilah. I guess y'all want to tell me about No Face. I seen somebody else say that No Face was a good record. I haven't heard anything. You want to talk about 100 gigs? He did the 100 gigs, that flop. He did the Wagwan Delilah. Oh, that's a parody. He did something else, like the Sexy Red song. He came back and remixed it with the BBL Drizzy. I remember Joe Budden saying, oh, that was a good idea. Similar to Taylor Made. It was good in concept. In execution and timing, it was terrible. Terrible. Or terrible. Whichever way you want to say it. It's been misstep after misstep after misstep. So now, even up to these court filings, these petitions that he's filed against UMG. So initially, I think a lot of us jumped out the windows like, oh, he telling the police. And I think that's still a narrative. Another narrative came up though. Oh, he's not suing Kendrick, he's suing UMG. And you know, and I thought at one point, I said, well, man, what if the red button that he talked about in the his Instagram stories, Drake talked about in his Instagram story. So what if that red button the whole time was him blowing this thing up in UMG face? Because we all know about the payola, we all know about the bots. I just come from the school of thought that if it's dope, it's dope. Like bot or no bot. Like if it's dope, it's dope. I'm not penalizing nobody that they're using these things. I knew back in the day, I think I said this on one of the other videos. I know I said this on one of the other videos. I was telling the story about being a fly on the wall in a particular room where they were talking about Outkast not beating Jay-Z. I specifically remember it being Jay-Z. And I remember the statement being made, well, why wouldn't they just buy that 30,000? Why wouldn't they buy those 30,000 units? And I was like, it effed me up because that was the first time I heard it. That's when I first learned that that's what they do. Like they'll buy those units. So again, Redman, how you dope when you pay for your billboard spot. So the bots and stuff, that don't bother me. None of that. None of that bothers me. But are we watching Drake being Ja Rule? And I'm saying yes. And I'm standing on that a little bit more firm now. I listen to y'all cats too much, and I don't think y'all know what y'all talking about a lot of times. And it sometimes I ain't gonna front. Like sometimes I'm second guessing me. Like, well, wait a minute, did I have that? Am I off? Maybe they got some information that I don't got. And nah, that's why if you follow me on Facebook, Tommy, that's why I've been posting the way I've been posting because a lot of my guys, the stuff they've been posting, like it don't add up. So I'm like, nah, I gotta stand on what I believe. I gotta stand on what I believe. We are witnessing Drake, and it's a slower. It's that's what makes it worse. It's slower. When you see somebody like 50 Cent back away, when you see somebody like Snoop come back and that's the OG's way of not OG, but that's his way of apologizing. Like, yeah, nephew, it was the edibles. Like that's an apology, right? Like I was tweaking. The Euphoria looks more and more prophetic. Everything that Kendrick said during that battle is good. Like your superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. You moving just like a degenerate. Every angle is looking distasteful. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, this tour I don't think is a good idea. So Kendrick does a tour, like Grand National is the name of the tour, right? Highlighting his album. Yo, your boy, at the height that he doesn't have any new music out to promote, he's only going to do this tour off his catalog, okay, which is fair. That's fine. But the name of the tour, the concept of the tour, the alter ego of the tour, and you almost want to think like, is he trolling? And it's like, no, he's really scrambling for a win. The name of the tour is Anita Max Win. Anita Max Win. And I guess in gambling circles, it's some type of phraseology like I need a max win. It's something when you're betting. I don't know because I don't gamble. But I need a max win, right? So now it's Anita Max Win. And the alter ego that he's talking about is a little blonde haired girl, like anime, Japanimation, like type blonde haired girl. You been called a PDF file and accused of all this stuff. You suing UMG, Lucian Grange, all this other stuff. That's wild. It's just misstep after misstep. Not reading the room, missing the cue. So the first people that you're gonna lose are the hip hop heads that because the ghostwriting stuff apparently for a lot of people it didn't bother them as much, right? Especially when we started learning stuff like LL Cool J wrote for Run DMC and Rakim wrote for Fresh Prince, so on and so forth. Like it matters, but not. I guess for him it didn't really matter too much, and especially because he was a sing-songy dude anyway. Like you knew Drake was barred up, but in terms of like top 5 lyricists, like I don't know any conversation where he was up there, but I also don't know any conversation where Kendrick was up for top 5 lyricists, right? But I get it nonetheless. But you lose that male hardcore audience first. So now you left with the emo dudes and the hipster dudes and the dudes who I guess paint their fingernails, like, shout out to dude. I think he's talented, but Thundercat type dudes to paint the fingernails, where they're just weirdos and stuff like you left with those type dudes, like the little Lil Yachty audience, right? No, is what it is. I get it, but as at 38, you got to be thinking about like the audience that you're attracting. And I like what Uncle Jeff said on Iz's show. Was it? Yeah, it was Iz's show. He was saying how Drake shifted down so many times that, at 38, you don't have, like, that's why Kendrick said, Yachty can't give you no swag either. I don't give about who you hang with. Like, Euphoria is looking more and more prophetic. So then, yeah, man, I let me just say this. I feel bad for dude, man. I feel not too bad because it's competitive nature of rap music, battle rap. hip hop, man. Like I say, when I was doing my thing as a b-boy and we would break or we dancing in the cypher or whatever, or if we were ciphered up and we just freestyling, man, I'm trying to take your head off. After that, we could dap it up, But if you are the culture, you know that. Like, it ain't no ill will. But when we get in that cipher, man, you could be my best friend, my blood brother, man. When we get in that cipher, I'm trying to take your head off. Why? Because iron sharpens iron. That's why I think Dot was going at him in the first place. I think he genuinely don't like dude now. Well, I think he hasn't genuinely liked him for a long time. I think he didn't like him after he saw his interviews about Control, because that's when you get the BET freestyle, the Cypher freestyle. It says nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Aha, joke's on you. High five. I'm bulletproof. Yeah. It's worse than Ja Rule, yeah. It's worse than Ja Rule because Ja Rule got jumped by 50 and the feds. I think this is worse than Ja Rule. I'm just talking about career stuff, man. I think 50, I just think 50 blindsided Ja Rule where he didn't see it coming. But this one, I think it's just a series of miscues and exposure. And I think, the lawsuits, just crazy. Like I was at first, I was like, well, let me think. And I was listening to some industry heads, like, because they know. It was one brother in particular. I was specifically waiting on his take, and he was saying, like, ultimately with the what's the name, they'll settle, and Drake will, be very, very well compensated as a result through that settlement. I don't know. Like, now we have to wait to see how it plays out. I don't know. I think if I'm UMG, because I've seen some reports where they say he recouped on the deal or something like that a year ago, and he was in the middle of negotiations. I don't know if any of that's true because I haven't heard anybody say that. Nonetheless, I think that Not Like Us did hurt his market value, and it's proven that he's not the earner that he once was. In this, outside of the fact that Spotify named him like as the top streamed artist, right? What does that translate to dollar wise? To be honest, like, you still haven't defined what's the value of a stream. Also, I'm gonna put this out there, and I think there's some validity to at least entertaining it. I think we're seeing the system that once worked for Drake and pushing his music on people. I think that same system is now being used to push Kendrick and his music. And it's not that I think that they have chosen Kendrick as the golden child or the one, like they're gonna do Kendrick how they did Drake, because I don't think, number one, I don't think Kendrick writes for other people. And I don't think Kendrick could turn out hits in the way that Drake does, because what we're seeing is a shift in the music, right? That shift is, and I'm standing on this because I've said this too. Now I see a whole bunch of other people saying it. A few people that I respect are saying this. I said something to the fact like the real is back, right? Substance is back. Lyricism is back. Oh, no, it ain't. Da, da, da. Y'all just woo woo. Y'all hyping them up and that. Like, no, you're seeing it, fam. The reason why you see so many people like breaking down dude lyrics, like, people are craving for stuff like that, man. You cats don't play chess. You don't. What up, L Nix? You don't play chess. You don't build Legos or piece puzzles together, like physically piece puzzles together. Y'all play video games all day. You don't do anything that actually requires you to make full faculty, like full use and faculty of your brain cells. And we're craving for that. We're craving for that type of stuff. Do you know how much fun that was? You know how much fun I was having with Tommy? Me and Tommy ain't never met. We ain't never talked on the phone. We just chopped through the internet and stuff like that. Do you know how fun it was for us to be sitting up there? Like, we was on Facebook at one point, like going back and forth, digging, like, yo, this, did you consider this? Or, man, like, especially when 616 in LA dropped, it was like, we was still, by the time Family Matters dropped, we was still decoding the title. The game is missing that. I'm talking about, I was in a room where we were breaking down. I was in a room on Fanbase, and we were breaking down GNX. It reminded me of when writers and poets used to get together, and they would have these long, in-depth conversations just about whatever, just building. Or when I used to get with 5%ers and challenge them. I was coming from the Christian perspective, and I was challenging their perspective. I love those conversations where you just build, and I think that's what Kendrick, in terms of substance, brings to the game. In other words, if you look at a lot of the stuff now, and the way that I think that the business is crumbling or resetting or whatever you want to call it, right? You can't just come with that pop your coochie, and that stuff still gonna exist. It's still people who gonna want to listen to that, and that low vibration is gonna have its place. I'm not saying that. I'm saying more people, more people. Please don't tell me about the attorneys who want to hear it and all that other stuff. You know, I know plenty of people at work, even the company I work at. We was doing something for Black History Month, and they was like, "Yeah, I can't post my favorite songs here." Blah 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 blah. So I know, I know. At one event I was at, it was a professional event, and it was something with Too Short playing, and one of the sisters got, like, "What's my favorite word?" Blow the whistle was what was playing. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I get that part. I'm not saying everything is gonna be like Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers, Paris, God doggone X Clan. I'm not saying the music gonna totally be like that. I think what we've been missing is balance, and I think the way that this music business is resetting is gonna overcorrect aggressively for people that want to hear substance in the music. I think that's also why Doechii is winning. I think that's why Doechii is winning. Super creative, super talented. And I think that's what people have been craving and wanting. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. I certainly appreciate y'all. All my familiar faces with wrenches. I appreciate y'all coming in and greeting each other. I certainly appreciate y'all being here with me. I don't go live consistently or often, but when I do, y'all do tap in with me, and I'm gonna read some of these comments. Since I got it in the description, I will go ahead and tell y'all, some of y'all, I'm working on something for the top of the year that I'm gonna launch. SHELLTOES and Merlot. SHELLTOES and Merlot. SHELLTOES and Merlot is coming, and it's exactly what I said earlier. It is where hip hop and maturity intersect. So if you think about SHELLTOES representing the b-boy, representing hip hop, representing and at SHELLTOES, for me, Adidas in particular, for me, has a connection because my uncle, he's an idol for me. He's 8 years older than me, and so he was more like a big brother than an uncle. And so everywhere he went, my grandma made me go with him. Like, he couldn't go nowhere. But anyway, he introduced me to hip hop, and you can't think about hip hop without thinking about Run DMC. And when you think Run DMC, you think Adidas SHELLTOES. So SHELLTOES and Merlot, and then of course Merlot representing that sophistication, the adult nature. And again, some of us that are b-boys or retired b-boys, or some of us that have aged in this thing. Hip hop is 51 years old. Like I say, we still like to get fly. We still like to be fresh. We still like to be in tune with the culture, and not so much just the music part of it, man. Just everything that we set our hands to, and we've seen this culture turn into a multi-billion-dollar business, man. So SHELLTOES and Merlot. There's going to be some merch with it, but in the media space, it's mainly going to be my take on things, and commentary, around art, fashion, music, highlighting just all around dopeness, man. I played my man Mouthpiece. What's the name reminded me? Uncle Jeff reminded me about Ohani Savant, right? Very dope cat, and he's showing up a lot in my feeds now. I've heard of him, but Coast Contra, man, them cats. There's another group. Let me see. There's another group, and then we're gonna go into this last. What's the name? What's the name? What's the name? What's the name of this group from Detroit? They from Detroit too. Oh man, it's not gonna pull up for me. But this, hold on, y'all bear with me, man. I certainly appreciate y'all. I do not have all of the equipment and all that other stuff. I come in here and I shoot from the hip. Clear Soul Forces. Hold on, I want y'all to hear this. This type of stuff. When I hear this type of stuff, man, I'm like, okay, hip hop is in good hands. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Yo, 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 check. Look. Tickety check it, brought the soul back to the home team. Motown, I can't just see my team is supreme. Diana, welcome to the solar system. All the forces you running in a circle, we just chewing on your orbit. Forfeit, forget over. Heimlich maneuver, me and my niggas will make it cut like we you. How you boost a future brighter than whatever you could imagine. Imagine the forces with you, running the red like arachnids. Tarantulas, say legged gargantuous animal, cause the maximum damage from a clothing and animal. While we be focused on our salary lettuce and bring the croutons and trying to have a dollar bill salad.
Man, and this is crazy. When this came across my timeline, I sent it to my homegirl, Dia, and she was like, Negro, I sent you this years ago. It's an old song, apparently. It's an old song, but it's dope. Anyway, we all right. Okay, let me go through some of these comments. I know a lot of y'all are gone. The Ghost. Peace to the Ghost, man. OG, man. Peace to OG. That slid through here really quick. This last piece that I want to talk about. Man, appreciate you, L. Nixon. I'm glad you back, brother. LL Cool J, the most important rapper of all time. So LL made this statement. I forget what interview he was doing recently, but he said, one day he said people are gonna come to realize that LL Cool J is the most important rapper of all time. Now he went to substantiate his claim, and I agree with him. He went on to talk about the things that he was done within the game. First, he wasn't the first artist signed to Def Jam. I think T. La Rock was the first artist signed to Def Jam. But when you think about LL at 16, signed to Def Jam, right for Run DMC on the Fresh Fest tour. The first rapper to do a love song. I mean, he set a lot of blueprints. That bad boy image, that youthful energy, like he was the first real superstar of rap. Right? Like Def Jam built that label off his back, to be honest. Yo, L. Nixon. That's gonna be one of the first things I do under the SHELLTOES and Merlot. When I start launching those episodes, that's one of the first things we're gonna get into and talk about. Is just like a care for the art and craft, right? Again, it's one of the things that really got me in tune with Kendrick Lamar, because it's a lot of MCs. Let me not just say Kendrick Lamar, Saba, Chance the Rapper. If y'all not paying attention to what Chance the Rapper is doing right now, Chance the Rapper, this rollout that he's doing for Starline is insane. And I used to work with a cat that invested in his music heavily. Not Chance the Rappers. I worked with an artist named Canton Jones. Canton Jones used to love investing in Canton Jones. And so I know what it takes. So from a numbers perspective, what it took for Canton Jones, which was like 6 figures easy. And he was just kind of regional for the most part, like Southeast for the most part. So I can only imagine for what Chance is doing, him investing in himself, that care that he has, No Name, Smino. There's so many cats that care about the craft. I think Corday is one of them. Joey Badass. And I'm talking when I'm talking about the craft, like, okay, I do got to take it back to Dot. When you think about the brain fuel that it takes to put words together in a way that connects with people to stir their emotions, that's a skill, fam. I'm not talking about putting words together that make people want to twerk. I think that's a particular skill too, but I think it's a skill that a lot of people can master, which is why you have so much low vibrational music in like strip clubs and stuff like that, right? Or in clubs, period, right? Because you see when like high vibrational music is in there, it doesn't stay very long. Like they have to switch the mood up. Nonetheless, I love where hip hop is headed. One of the first things I'm going to do with SHELLTOES and Merlot is highlight the art and the craft of MCing, creating art like my man Damon Lamar, that Chicago piece. Man, you know, as soon as I saw that, man, I was like, yeah, I need that. That resonates with me so heavy. But this Caleb Mahaffey piece, right? You talking about craft and art. This what's the name, man? This the brother Corey Hanzo. This Corey Hanzo Tupac, man, it looked just like him. This Rakim piece is dope, but what Stephen Cartocchio, what he did with this Outcast, the details on this Outcast John, insane. So we're talking about the love of the art and the craft, man. Right? So but with LL, right? It really disappointed me, man. Listen to this, read this brother comment, and you know, I'll be glad when we get from talking about record sales, right? The brother was saying LL ain't did nothing since the 90s, and I'm like, wait, what? LL ain't did nothing since the 90s? Not a favorite record of mine, but when did Headsprung come out? Like, you could still play that in the club today. He could still perform that with Timbaland or something like that if he wanted to. Like, and I'm not saying it's a dope record. I'm just recognizing like the brother means something to this day, to this culture that we call hip hop, right? To the point where I respect, there used to be a tour called Rock the Bells, right? And I respect that he fought them cats tooth and nail because he tried to buy the name from, he tried to settle it amicably with them. And yeah, I'm just really struggling with this, man. Like, if LL is not the most important rapper of all time, even if you think about from a style standpoint, the aggression that he had, that I would say he may have lifted the aggression of it from Melly Mel, but his bars, unmistakable. My radio, believe me, I like it loud, right? Who is more important than LL? Yeah, Headsprung definitely slapped. I mean, in the club, I know it did. I was promoting many a time in the club where they would play it, and it wasn't like the dudes; it was the females. The way the females would go off, and you know, I would also say he probably was hip hop's first sex symbol, right? When he did that "I Need Love," I remember him getting ridiculed, but then we saw how the females responded to it, and what's crazy is, after LL, I Need Love, what we have? We had UTFO, You Cold Wanna Be With Me. You had obviously Houdini, One Love. You had Heavy D, Don't You Know. Like, everybody started doing love songs after LL Cool J. So I say, this is my point in all that. And this is a point that I wanted to get to earlier. The other day on Night Show, we were talking about how we just don't value, we don't stand on nothing, we don't preserve nothing, G. Like, hip hop is ours, we don't own it, we don't control it. The only thing we say is what's cool, and then let the rest of the world monetize and eat off of our culture. And when I say, there's a couple things I want to say. This is my rant now. Shame on y'all for letting a mink sliding Mac pimp. I don't want to slander the dude too tough, but because I think people can redeem themselves and change their image. But yo, shame on y'all for letting that cat come in and talk about some FBA started this and the FBA started that. Yo, do you know? First of all, do the knowledge, okay? Because hip hop, it wasn't like created as much as it was a combination of things converging at one time. And that's how we have hip hop. And it was from people in New York who were all on top of each other, who made the best they could, made the best of what they had to work with, right? Like, that's crazy that we have these arguments about who started hip hop. Like, if you say foundational Black Americans started hip hop, throw Kool Herc out, throw Grandmaster Flash out, I think you'd have to throw Busy B out. There are so many Caribbeans that you'd have to throw out, and that's never been our angle. Black people, y'all gotta chill with this FBA 80 stuff, man. Like, this is my opinion. I come from an era where I remember the power that we had to make Coca-Cola divest from apartheid in Africa, in South Africa, because we were united and stood in solidarity. All this stuff y'all are talking with the FBA and the ADOS gang banging. I mean, like, there is a proverb, and I say this often: those who say it can't be done shouldn't interrupt those who are doing it. So the fights that they're fighting, I'm cool with that, but I'm not cool with somebody like a Tariq Nasheed coming into hip hop and like trying to tell us our story, and then you get somebody like a Lord Jamar who is Guyanese, from what I understand. He's Guyanese. So how do you come and co-sign what he's saying? And it's again, shame on y'all, man. Like, that junk is sad. Like, you so quick to safeguard for the wrong reasons. You're not safeguarding to keep the integrity of the art and the culture alive, or to keep our narrative and our stories alive. You safeguarding because this is mine and Black people did this and this is ours. No, it's not. It was listen, the graph writers were known. They were well-known white graph writers. Let me say it that way. Well-known. I know there were Blacks and Puerto Ricans, for sure, 1000%. But there were well-known white graph writers. B-boying. Man, you talking about Crazy Legs, Mr. Wiggles, Ken Swift. Like, those were some of the earliest B-boys. I know all these conversations, like, now all of a sudden, this is like people are coming out with these stories from the dude, the Mac dude. Let me show you how to Mac. And now I'm a historian. Like, that's just crazy to me that we would let somebody come in and divide us like that, man. Yo, we gotta chill with that. Hip hop is 51 years old. KRS-One said, 50 years down the line, you could start this, because we'll be the old school artists. And even in that time, I'll say around a brand new style, ruthless and wild, running around, spending money, having fun. Because even then, I'm still number one. 50 years later, what are we doing with hip hop, man? We don't control it. We don't honor those who came before us. We so quick to kick people out, man. Grandmaster Caz. Okay, so now if we're gonna say LL isn't the most important MC, the person that I would say will be a Grandmaster Caz. If you're saying LL's not, I would say Grandmaster Caz. 1000%. That man should get his flowers every opportunity that we have. And for some of y'all, some of these artists need to be cutting a check off the royalties, right? Shout out to Nas for what he's doing with man, what was that award ceremony? Man, it's an award ceremony that they do in Vegas, and it honors our legends. Grandmaster Caz received an award, Roxanne Shante, Rakim, Was it Kool Moe Dee? Man, I can't think of it, man. Oh man, listen, don't get me started on B Street. Don't get me started on B Street. B Street, Wild Style, Star Wars. Those are my earliest recollections of understanding this culture, this thing of that we call hip hop. But when I think of, if you're gonna say the birthday of hip hop is August 11th, 1973, but then go to say, well, blacks are the ones that created it. I just don't see how that worked. In the Bronx, like blacks and Puerto Ricans were on top of each other. Poor whites were right there. I just don't see how y'all let somebody come in and divide us like that, man. This is our culture. That's crazy because we don't own nothing. You can't monetize nothing. You got somebody that's like talking this reparations talk and hasn't put not one, hasn't shown you one. Let me chill. 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 Because again, this is ours, G. Like Lord Jamar should be ashamed of himself, man. Dude is looking more and more goofy, and I strive not to be that old head, right? That the young bloods look at and is like, yeah, this is why we don't listen to you niggas. Right? I don't want to be that old head, fam. I really don't. It's sad what he said about Kendrick Lamar. Then even with him teaming up with Tariq Nasheed to downplay, because the argument that they were having, which I don't know why we still having this argument, but it was like, well, we're not talking about contributions, we talking about who started it. Yo, okay, let's move around. So LL Cool J, man, undoubtedly is the most important in seeing, like Nidish was saying, man, we don't respect nothing. It's how we let blues get away from us. It's how we let jazz music get away from us. Most of us, you know, don't appreciate a Robert Glasper, a Derek Hodge, rest his soul, a Casey Benjamin, a Terrace Martin, Adrian Young. These like I'm thinking about jazz musicians. His name was Christian Scott, but he has the African name, or John Batiste. Like all these jazz artists, man. I was listening to some Miles Davis from Someday My Prince Will Come. Miles Davis was brilliant, G. And we just we don't see the value in nothing that we do. We'll sit up there and say, oh, that's trash. And I think we do it from a place of ego and arrogance because we so dope. We come like what did Kanye say? He said, I forget doper-ish than what you ever thought of. Right? I forget more dope-ish than what you ever thought of. Right? And I think that's our mentality. Like I I had an idea and I didn't trademark it. And I saw somebody in London with it. And I knew I had it before them. And I tried to double back, like, hey man, I ain't trying to be funny, but I had rights to this and da 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 da. And it's like, bruv, too bad, so sad. I wrote the book. So I lay claim to it. I couldn't do nothing. And what's crazy is I should have patented it. I should have trademarked it and sold it to Adidas. I should have trademarked it and sold it to Adidas. Nonetheless, G, we don't own nothing. We don't control anything. We don't control our schools. We don't control our health care. We don't control our food supply. We don't control our housing. Like, and I'm not talking about buying houses. I'm talking about the ability to build for the people. Yesterday, and I'm gonna get up out of here. This is my old man rant, right? But yesterday was the anniversary of Chairman Fred Hampton's death, right? Where he was changed by CPD, right? And when I think about at 21, what he had done to become the deputy chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. That's remarkable, number one. Then when I think about the food programs that they had in place to feed the people, in particular children, which is where we get like free lunches and stuff like that, and Head Start in school and all that stuff. That comes from the Panthers. When I think about the healthcare, the clinics, the free clinics that we had, I mean, again, this was for the people. When I think about these things, man, and the fact that now, today, we have the most resources, the most access, the most knowledge, we're the most educated, the smartest, the this, that, and the third, the wealthiest we've ever been, da 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 da. And we don't know nothing, man. We lost morals, we lost position, we lost integrity, all of the things, right? And for what? And for what? This is okay. Homegirl is performing. Okay, yeah, it's almost 2 hours. I'm gonna get up out of here. Yeah, man. It's I know some of y'all be talking about this. It ain't no community crap, man. You may not have community, and that's okay. Just don't try and defecate on minds while I'm building and reconciling and restoring minds, man. So I see everybody else progressing, and we stuck. We stuck like Chuck, man. So make no mistake about it. I love the people. I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about that. And I'm more inspired and more resolved to tell our story and preserve our culture, our history. Shout out to K-Dot for what he doing. I think this is a moment in time where it's gonna be like, man, you had to be there. It's just like in 80, was that 88? When it had to be 88, when the dunk contest, when the NBA All-Star game came to Chicago. And so glad I had a chance to tell Dominique Wilkins this to his face. They robbed Dominique Wilkins that year. Like, I know Jordan jumped from the free throw line, all that stuff, but Dominique, man, I mean, he killed Jordan. He killed Jordan in Chicago, at Chicago Stadium. That's the crazy part, right? Timing is everything, right? Because that was the one time I met Dominique Wilkins, and I'm telling him that, and I'm thinking I'm giving him a compliment, but he didn't want to be reminded of that. He knew he got robbed. He knew he got robbed. I don't know if I had that picture of us still. He knew he got robbed, man. He didn't want to hear that. He definitely didn't want to hear that from me. Well, shout out to Dominique Wilkins, man. I forgot where I was going with that point. Let me get ready to get out of here, man. I need to figure out something to leave y'all with. What should it be? You know what? What should it be? Yo, have y'all heard this? That's that new chance. Hold on. What about this? Have y'all heard this? Y'all heard that? No.
I was in a dark space, between a rock and a hard place. Knew I was alive when my heart raced. Buried alive, but very alive. They be very surprised, find out Harry survived.
No.
It's 10 minutes. What you got?
Nah, you know what? I know what I'm I know what I'm gonna get y'all. We're gonna keep it on dot, man. I'm gonna do a separate stream for Chance. I'm waiting. I cannot wait for him to bring that, what's the name? Because he hasn't brought it here yet. I cannot wait for him to bring that, what's the name here? That what is it called? Writing on the Wall. Writing on the Wall. Is it on here? Hold on. Let me see. Yo, they still got Euphoria and Meet the Grams on here, man. Just diabolical, man. Just diabolical. Let me see. Come on. Come on. Wait, what does that say? Oh, humble. Nah. Where's that? Nah, there we go. There we go. Hold on.
Gina, baby,
That's it.
I don't have no money. I don't have no end. Gina, I'm ass out.
Listen to this, man.
I'm going through something right now. I told you that.
What up, oh, what up? I said a what up, oh, what up? I said a what up, oh, what up? Well, alright, I'm going through something with life. But pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice. I'm going through something with life. But pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron make you feel alright. Pussy and Patron, that's some great advice. Welcome to my diary. Stressing got me gray hair. Something to inspire me. Rather than society's woes, let me go. Let me shine a little bit live. I want diamonds too. Ronnie on Players Club. I used to have a 9 to 5. Fresh out of school, that was on 5. That bitch was racist, got me fired. That must have been I had no job. Pushing in my mama van. Stop for gas on Rosecrans. Trust me, these niggas rush me for something my cousin probably did.
Yo, so but again, L Nixon, I agree with you, right? We don't. You said we still don't have access to distribution, especially when you look at what's going on with DistroKid, right? And then what distribution in this digital age? What type of distribution do we need, right? Like you just need access to the DSPs at this point, right? I think when we talk distribution from our standpoint, right, from the outside looking in, we're listening to these artists tell us like, you know, hey, I want to be able to control my own distribution, so on and so forth, da 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 da. First, it was like I wanted ownership of the masters and so on and so forth. But again, I can't help to think about like artists like the Osley brothers, right? Do you know the Osley brothers have been like, for the most part, independent their entire career? These are the cats that wrote Twist and Shout. So when you hear the Beatles, shake it up, baby, now, that's the Isley brothers. You know, Ron Isley, Ernie Isley, Jasper Isley, uh, you know, James Brown controlled and owned his music for the most part. Sam Cooke, I think Sam Cooke, that's what got him up out of here, right? He was one of the first ones to do that, right? So I think, and rightfully so, artists should be able to, control their fate for what they put out. I mean, there's a deeper conversation I think that should be had when we talk about music as a commodity to begin with. Like if you think about the fact that we created industry off of something that we used to use, not only for entertainment. Oh, let me say this too while I'm on my old man rant. You people that keep saying dumb stuff like, oh, it's just music, it's just entertainment, or the music don't have the power to influence. Like I'm gonna do a whole breakdown on, it's more than music. I'm gonna do a part 2 to that one. I think I used that for the GNX title, but I'm gonna have to do a Uno reverse on that one, man, because y'all got it twisted. Like if you're not paying attention to frequencies, and I'm not talking about somebody saying in the music, Rilla, go commit this heinous act or go do this nefarious deed, and I go do it. That's not the type of influence I'm talking about. I'm talking about garbage in, garbage out. I'm talking about being influenced in the subtleties and the subliminals of your mind, man. And you got cats out here that's like, oh, the music don't really have that type of impact and influence, when there are multiple studies that say otherwise. I heard Medium Man say that. He talked about where he was comparing like how most people can hear something and then or hear a song and they're not influenced to act that out. It may not manifest in that way. Like I can make the distinction between what Ice Cube was saying in F the Police, but however, it did influence my attitude towards the police. It did I go throwing my middle finger up and saying F the police to their face and, shooting off and da da da? No, but it did. That's going to be a whole nother stream, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all. 612 in Toronto, man. Thank you for tapping in with your boy. Kendrick has a show June 12th in Toronto. And we learned he added a second show in Toronto, June 13th. June 13th is Father's Day. He's doing a show on Father's Day in Toronto. I might have to fly up there to see this, man. This is just going to be insane. Especially, man, this is going to be insane. I think, that distribution piece, I want, I get it. I get it. And I think by now we could have had it. We could have had it. There's too many people that would rather be famous. They'd rather be famous than wealthy. If you really think about it, Kanye has talked about it. Who else before him? Master P talked about it. There's a few more that have talked about it. And the ones that were really serious about it and tried to make a move, they got pushed out. But anyway, that's a whole nother different story. If you have not had a chance to listen to GNX, please do so and drop your feedback in the comments. Like, I'd love to hear what you think about it. If you're watching this on replay, leave your comments on what you think about GNX. Please don't let my opinion influence you whatsoever. Or on the tour, are you going to the tour? Are you going to see the tour? And if you are, put in the comments what city you're going to see it in. And then, is LL Cool J the most important rapper of all time? He talked about being the GOAT, which, GOAT comes from Ali, greatest of all time, so on and so forth. But is LL Cool J the most important rapper of all time? I say he is the most important. You think about the simple fact that he built our institution, Def Jam. Def Jam was built on his back. Through LL comes EPMD, Public Enemy, Slick Rick, because Run DMC was on Profile. Beastie Boys on Def Jam. But was Beastie Boy? Yeah, they were on Def Jam. Who else? Some early acts that was just on Def Jam, man. Slick Rick. I'm trying to think around 88, because that's really the foundation and when the label started to take off, man. Nonetheless, I appreciate y'all as always. Salute, salute, salute. I don't know when I'm going to be back, but I am going to be back more because I'm inspired, and then I'll try not to make these. I'll try and make these a little bit shorter. I may pre-record some stuff, but SHELLTOES and Merlot is coming soon, y'all, so stay tuned for that, all right? Appreciate y'all. Peace.